Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Thursday, February 23. I am Abigail Smythe. Among the stories in this evening's newscast, Jamaica to remove visa-free transit for Cubans. Current water restrictions in the corporate area likely to continue into May. Government to spend millions towards completion of the Western Children and Adolescent Hospital in Montego Bay. Police Commissioner says no police officer should feel concerned or afraid to protect himself or members of the public against criminals. In business, there's a growing demand for local agricultural produce in the export market. In the region, 2 earthquakes hit parts of Trinidad and Tobago in 2 days. Further overseas, British supermarket chains limit the amount of fresh fruits and vegetables consumers can buy amid shortages. And in sports, 5-time 100-meter world champion Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce nominated for 2023 Laureus World Sportswoman of the Year Award.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. Jamaica is to remove visa-free transit for Cubans. Currently, nationals are allowed to transit through Jamaica for up to 3 days. In a public notice on Wednesday, the Ministry of National Security stated that the allowance will be discontinued effective March 13. All other visa requirements for Cubans entering Jamaica remain the same. The ministry did not explain the reason for the move. Last November, it was reported that the government was seeking to curb an influx of Cubans who appear to be using Jamaica as a transit point to Central America in an attempt to illegally gain entry into the United States. At that time, Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang said he was aware of the Cuban matter. Immigration officers employed at the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency PICA said then that hundreds of Cubans have been traveling to Jamaica for the past 3 years to secure passage to Central and North America. The National Water Commission, NWC, has advised that the current water restrictions in the corporate area are likely to continue into May. Acting Corporate Public Relations Manager at the NWC, Delana Williams, says February and March are usually dry months. The NWC has put in place a 12-hour water restriction schedule across several sections of the corporate area in response to the worsening drought conditions affecting the island. Over 50 communities are being affected. In the meantime, Mr. Williams is seeking to assure the country that a number of ongoing projects will improve water supply for the affected Jamaicans. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson is urging police officers to take the necessary steps to protect themselves in the wake of recent attacks by criminals. There have been several reports of police officers being wounded or killed by criminals in recent weeks. District Constable Mark Forsyth was killed in one of the attacks in St. Thomas. A wanted man who was said to be responsible for the DC's killing was fatally shot during an altercation with the police. The police commissioner says the necessary resources have been provided for the police to defend themselves when confronted by criminals. Where there is a confrontation between cops and criminals, General Anderson says he expects that his police officers, quote, will win and that those criminals will meet their demise, end quote. He maintains that no police officer should feel concerned or afraid to protect himself or any other member of the public who is being threatened by criminals. The St. Anne police have apprehended a man accused of stabbing another man to death in Ocho Rios, St. Anne, Wednesday afternoon. Police report that the deceased, who is not yet formally identified, went by the alias Haitian. Head of operations for the St. Anne Police, Deputy Superintendent Kevin Francis, says around 3 p.m. an altercation developed between both men when knives were brought into play. Haitian was stabbed. He died on the spot while the attacker fled the scene. The investigations are ongoing. And National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says Jamaica's assistance for crisis-hit Haiti will be humanitarian relief rather than security support. Prime Minister Andrew Holness recently announced that the government is willing to send military assistance to Haiti. Dr. Chang, who is also Deputy Prime Minister, says CARICOM is still considering how best to assist the French-speaking nation. Haiti has been embroiled in deep political, economic, and and social unrest since last year. Armed gangs continue to dominate parts of the country, with the nation's security forces unable to meet the challenge. The Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry has asked for urgent support from a coalition of foreign military forces. The government plans to spend $365 million this fiscal year towards completion of the $7 billion Western Children and Adolescent Hospital in Montego Bay, St. James. According to the estimates of expenditure for 2023-2024, the allocation will go towards completing the car park, upgrading of the sewage treatment system, and construction of the hospital main building, which is already 20% in the making. Last year's revised budget of $191 million to the health facility covered preliminary activities including site clearance, resurfacing, and widening of the road leading to the construction site, utility relocation and reconnection, as well as security services. The hospital is being financed primarily by the government of the People's Republic of China, which is providing external financial support. The hospital is expected to complement the Bustamante Hospital for Children in Kingston by providing increased access to specialized pediatric and adolescent care. When completed, the state-of-the-art institution will treat children and adolescents up to 18 years old across western Jamaica. The 6-story hospital will have a 220-bed capacity, in-house pharmacy, emergency room, dialysis room, plus administrative offices, a food court, and accommodation for employees. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton notes that there were some issues with finding local skilled labor, including carpenters and masons, for the project. However, he anticipates more skilled labor coming in from China to work on the facility. In the meantime, redevelopment of the Cornwall Regional Hospital in Montego Bay, which began in 2019 and should have ended in 2023, has been given additional budgetary support. In business news, the Ministry of Agriculture says there is a growing demand for local agricultural produce in the export market. Agriculture Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says export to the more than 30 destinations is being led by the demand for local yams. He says the average annual export is approximately 34.5 million kilograms, with estimated earnings of $78.32 million. Of that figure, yam export is a significant contributor, with an average export of approximately 14.24 million kilograms and estimated earnings of $36.74 million. Despite this, Minister Charles admits that Jamaica is still not meeting the international demand for yams. In the region, an earthquake with a magnitude of 4.2 rattled several parts of Trinidad on Wednesday. There were no immediate reports of injury or destruction. The quake was felt near Port of Spain, Arima, and San Fernando. The quake is the Twin Island Republic's second in as many days. The Seismic Research Center says an earthquake with a magnitude of 3.9 hit the country on Tuesday. It was felt near Port of Spain, Arima, and Scarborough in Tobago. On the international scene, several British supermarket chains have limited the amount of fresh fruits and vegetables that customers can buy amid shortages. The shortages are blamed on bad weather in Spain and Morocco. Tesco, the UK's largest grocery chain, says it would temporarily limit customers to buying 3 items each of tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers. It follows similar moves by rival chains Aldi and Morrisons. The empty shelves have become a political issue, with opponents of Britain's decision to leave the European Union blaming Brexit for the fruit and vegetable shortages. However, industry analysts say the main culprit was bad weather, hurting crop yields in Spain and Morocco, 2 of the UK's main suppliers of fresh produce in the winter. Spain has had some unusually cold weather, while Morocco also was hit by frosty temperatures in January, followed by cancelled ferries due to bad weather over the past month. That meant less produce being shipped to Britain. And finally, in sports, a 5-time World Championship 100-meter gold medalist Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce has been nominated for the 2023 Laureus World Sportswoman of the Year award. Fraser-Pryce, along with American Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, are from track and field in the 6 female nominees. If she wins, Fraser-Pryce will follow Elaine Thompson-Herah, who became the first Jamaican woman to win this award in 2022. Usain Bolt was the first Jamaican to lift the award and went on to do so 4 times. And that's it for your news roundup for today. I am Abigail Smythe. Have a good evening and see you next time.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here, Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Like the video before you go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And remember to share the video with your friends and family. And browse the channel for more quality content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them!